Good afternoon and welcome to this episode of the Jess Strom Show. I'm your host, Katie Tetzlaw. Very special guest with us today. Welcome, Bianca Jasper. And for the viewers out there, can you please introduce yourself? Just tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from, what year you are, and your major.
My name is Bianca Jasper. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Middletown, Pennsylvania, and my major is pre-med.
So pre-med, so pretty soon after, the next 2 years, they finish this year, next 2 years, med school, we'll be calling you Dr. Jasper. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What kind of doctor do you want to be? Because I think that's kind of fun for the viewers. They get to see you on the floor. They get to see you in action, as being the point guard for the Vulcans. But, I don't think they really know everything there is about you. So what do you think that you want to be in terms of with your degree as being a medical doctor?
I want to be an emergency room doctor.
Any reason for that, or just kind of like the action-packed stuff?
Yeah, I just like to be on my toes a lot and just a lot of things going on at once.
Yeah, obviously that's why you're the point guard too. Well, just kind of talking about, we're not going to go, with all the other players, we talked about preseason, especially with the freshmen because they've never been through it, but you have already been there and done that. This is your second year with the squad. Obviously this year much more healthy, knock on wood, than you were last year. But tell us a little bit, Bianca, about what it's actually like to be a point guard for the Vulcans.
It's good. It's a lot different than a lot of other positions. I get to communicate with Coach Jess a lot, and I get to kind of do my own thing a little bit with calling plays, and it's good.
Just making reads and different stuff like that. What do you think the challenge is? I mean, I don't think people understand what it's like, the way we play defense, high intensity, and then for you to handle the ball a lot. Tell us about the challenges that you face at that position.
Making reads on how the defense plays and how our plays work. Like, if we want to get the ball to certain people, like, what screens would be best.
Just constantly knowing what's going on and being alert. Well, so far, obviously had a big week last week. And, we're, with the record, obviously we're doing well with 3 losses, 22 wins, and a big win at ranked number 3 IUP and ranked 1 in the conference IUP. Talk to us a little bit about where you think we are right now as a squad.
I think the past couple games we've been doing better defensively and scoring better and getting more looks. I think we're getting better and better each day.
Yeah. And, as we look to the next phase, how hard is it to stay focused on what is at hand? Like, for example, Seton Hill.
I think a lot of us are looking forward to playoffs and might be losing sight of Seton Hill and Clarion, but I think that's what we need to focus on now before playoffs hit.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone's focus. I think it's, we had a discussion about that. We talk a lot, people in the past and other teams that have played us talk about, a game where you kind of lose it. After you have a big high, you kind of have a big low. What do you think you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen, to make sure you stay even and focus on Seton Hill?
I feel like we need to do the little things right, defensively, offensively, like huddles and paying attention.
Yeah, and do you think that gets done at practice?
Yeah, if it doesn't, we get told about it.
Yeah, you don't want to have that game, the letdown game. I think that's always, what coaches talk about, what maybe players talk about, somebody think that you're not on your toes, but keeping it, at that game at hand. Now, Bianca, for you, making your way through the season, playing very well at this moment, obviously hitting a lot more outside shots, still doing really well in assists. I believe you're 3rd in the conference right now in assists. Maybe a little bit even lower, just looking at it a little bit ago. But tell us a little bit about, how you have kind of progressed throughout the year.
I've been getting in the gym more, watching more film, like getting more looks towards other people. Like if I miss them during a cut, I make sure
you kind of see them again.
Yeah, see it again.
Would you say that since the beginning of the year, maybe mistakes that you have made before, you've kind of eliminated them?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think you did that? Just by doing it in practice? Just by kind of having more confidence in yourself?
Yeah, and focusing on the things I was doing wrong.
Yeah. So the big thing, I think, talk to me about how you get point guard confidence, because I feel like confidence as a point guard is probably the most important thing that you need. How have you gotten to the point where you feel confident running the show?
Just getting us to score and like getting looks.
Mm-hmm. Putting the work in.
Yeah.
Obviously, you said getting more shots up. watching more film. I think what people don't understand is, yeah, what you do in the game is, what you do in that hour and a half time frame. But I don't think people see all the time and effort that players put in, not just even in practice, outside of practice, like yourself getting to the gym, watching film by yourself, just doing different things like that. Have you done that consistently throughout your whole career? Have kind of always done more?
Yeah, I've always watched more film, like on my free time or even when I'm doing something, I'll just watch film.
Is that for you so you feel better about it?
Yeah, and so I can see what needed that could have been different.
Absolutely. What are you looking forward to most as we get ready for a big week here? We have away at Seton Hill, away at Clarion. What are you looking from the Vulcans this week, this upcoming week?
For us to keep getting better and better and like progressing defensively, making sure we get all the little things down before playoffs hits.
In playoffs, obviously don't like to spend a lot of time talking about it before we get there. But exciting time. Is this the kind of things that you've always loved about basketball, this kind of crunch time?
Yeah.
What do you think about playoffs kind of gets everyone going?
Just so many games in like such a small amount of time and just getting closer and closer to reaching the goal that we want.
Yeah, in the goal, Bianca, what would you say that goal was?
Well, first goal is PSAX.
Yep.
And then region, and then the tournament.
Yep. And that always seems to be one of the goals, but how do you think this team can get there?
Just everyone staying focused, staying healthy, and doing what they need to do.
Yeah. Well, folks, you heard it first from Bianca Jasper. Thank you so much for having us, for being here with us on the show. We'll be back next with Jess Strom. Viewers, welcome back to the Jess Strom Show. We're here with Jess Strom, rocking out the new logo that we have for CalU. I'm in the butterfly collar. My microphone's bringing mine down, but I can tell you that I love the new swag that you got on. And what are your thoughts on the new logo for not only the athletic department, but also for CalU in general?
Yeah, I like them both. I'm not really that hard to please, but I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I think it looks newer. It looks good.
And talk about some school spirit. Something that I want to mention because I just thought the reveal party was awesome. I felt there was like a ton of school spirit in the theater. Kind of watched a video for the entire school, then kind of watched another short video for the athletic department. Lots of school spirit going on right now.
Yeah, I think they did a good job, bringing everybody together and kind of, giving some Cal pride. I know you had it because you got a free T-shirt and you jumped real high in the air.
I mean, I one-handed snag for the new logo T-shirt. I was really impressed. I think other people were impressed.
But I think it was good. I think the student athletes that were there, were excited about being at Cal, and I think it was a good day.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what the viewers are really wondering is the women's basketball team right now. How do you think we're doing?
I think last week was a big week for us, obviously 2 wins. But I think more than that, we're just playing better. I know we talked about last week, we had a few good games, minus maybe a quarter here and there, but I think we're finally coming together. Early in the season, we had some players playing good, some not so good. Like it just depended on the day, literally in practice or in a game, it just depended on the day. So I think we're finally coming together and having some people play well all at the same time.
So a lot more consistency to the games.
Yeah, I kind of want to knock on wood, but
I'll
yes.
knock right with you, knock on wood.
Yes.
Would you say the win streak of 4 right now, because our last loss was to Edinburgh at home. Would you say those last 4 games are a huge difference than where we were kind of mid-year?
Yeah, I think our mentality is a little bit different since then. Obviously, we had 2 losses in a row. The first time we lost at home in a while. So I think we came back and really got after it in practice for, a week or so there and kind of refocused. And I think since then we've been playing much better, more confident on both ends of the floor and just getting in the gym more. I think they've just been in the gym a lot more since those 2 losses.
Yeah, I kind of take it hard. And, we always talk about, if you make a mistake, then you have to change. And I'm not sure necessarily if so much mistakes, but just missed shots. So obviously the change was getting in the gym more, putting up more shots, kind of getting comfortable. Obviously have seen that come to life within the past 4 games with our shooting percentages going much higher.
Yeah, it's really big for us when we make shots because hopefully, if we bring our defensive energy that we are supposed to bring every day, we put ourselves in good positions to win games, but we still have to make a shot here and there. So, if we're making shots and playing defense the right way, I think we're usually pretty successful.
Let's go back here and talk about the last 2 games. More specifically, let's start with Mercyhurst. Taking the trip up to Erie on their senior night. And, tell us what you thought about the Mercyhurst game.
Yeah, I think the first time we played Mercyhurst, it was a close game all the way till the end. So I think we made some changes defensively. We tried something new at the beginning of that game, tried to jump on them early. And our kids did a great job. We only put it in at shoot-around that day. We didn't even do it live. We just walked through it. And they did a really good job of just picking up and playing. And I think we forced some turnovers early. And when that happens, it's usually good for us. So I think we jumped on them early, kind of had a lull there in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter came back and played pretty hard.
Now, is that kind of your style that you trust the team? Talk to the viewers about how you can trust a team from another team, maybe last year or the year before, about putting something in and having them execute it with really outspending a lot of time on it.
Yeah, I think you just have to know your players. And I feel like this year's team, they're very much just let them play, put them in spots, and then let them make plays. We have some kids that really can just move. Abby can just go, Sierra can go, Gigi can go. So if you put them in the right spots defensively, I think they're bound to get a steal. They can make reads very well defensively. So you don't have to overly teach them. You don't want them to think too much about anything.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that same goes with offensive as well, or are you a little bit more controlled on the, obviously defensively you let them loose. We've seen that where they kind of just go and make a play. What about the offensive end?
Yeah, I think a little bit more controlled. But again, we don't have plays that have a million screens and certain people have to get the ball. I mean, obviously we have sets for certain players at certain times. But we've been working a ton recently, probably the last couple weeks on getting in spots and then making plays. Making your own reads, making your own screens, just figuring out how to play basketball.
As a coach, I think you have options, obviously options with however you want to run an offense, however you run a defense. What do you think allowed you in your coaching career, maybe some past experiences, that you got into like the groove where you really taught your players how to play and kind of just make reads instead of just, running sets, running this, making sure it goes here. You kind of just, teach the players how to play. Where do you think that came from?
I think that's very much how I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a player that wanted to run a set with so many screens, and if there was a read I could make, I wanted to be able to do that. So I feel like giving players that freedom allows them just to play, and enjoy it and not have to be like a robot all the time. Mm-hmm. They learn to play, and when they leave here and they go play, they still know how to play.
Mm-hmm. It's a skill set and being able to make reads to the defense and something that that you work on with the players a lot. Let's jump now to Saturday. A lot going on Saturday before the IUP game. Obviously, it's a big game in general, playing the number 3 team in the country and also the number 1 team in the conference. Playing them at our place and also playing on Alumni Day and Senior Night. Before we talk about the game, talk to us a little bit about some of the things that happened before the game.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. We also had some recruits there, so it was very, very busy.
Busy.
Yeah, it was a very busy day. But it was great because the fan support that we had on Saturday was amazing. I know IUP brought a lot of people too, but the gym was pretty full. I would say the fullest it's been this year. So I know we had some alumni come back, probably more than we've had in a long time. And our seniors, obviously their families, except M's, their American
FaceTime in,
family.
though.
So yeah,
M's family was FaceTime.
They were.
From Australia. I don't know, but it was probably 4:00 in the morning. But that is
was.
dedication.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cool. And I also think it's kind of cool. Former player Mickey Glenn with the walkout of M. Suckling.
Yeah, it was nice to see that, like, she has a family here too. They really care about each other. So there was a lot of people here. It was, I could really hear people during the game, and it was nice to have our alumni back, and obviously Senior Day. I'm happy when Senior Day is over, but it's nice to, recognize them too.
Yeah, it's tough. I always struggle with Senior Day because, we always as a program, and I think it's great for our fan base to support the seniors, but this is not over yet. To sit here and talk about the seniors and their careers, well, we're hopeful that there's still a lot more to go. So do you have anything to say about the seniors right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about them a little bit before Senior Day, going into Senior Day, but I feel the same way. I don't think they're leaving yet. I don't feel like our season is over.
No.
So I don't really like to think about them not being here, but they've done so much for this program. Like I said, they've all come in different ways and joined us in kind of different avenues, but they've done so much, whether it's playing time or not playing time, or they've had a big game. But I think they all stepped up against IUP, which is really nice to see. It won't be their last game at home, but on Senior Day.
Their last regular season home game.
Yeah, on Senior Day, they all did something that helped us win that game.
Kind of outrageous if you think about the combination of points and the big shots that they hit, or the big plays, or the big defensive stuff that the seniors really did kind of come together and win that game. Talk to us a little bit about that game. Close one. Really interesting game.
Yeah, I feel like when it's Cal IUP, it's typically going to be a close game. And I feel like they were probably coming in wanting to beat us because we beat them there. Obviously, it was our Senior Day, and it's big for the conference. We're still all fighting for positioning in the conference tournament. So here's some highlights. Early, I think, we started out a little bit, I don't know, unfocused or what was going on. Maybe from Senior Day, maybe there was a lot going on, but I think then we got it together, especially towards the end of the first quarter. We hit a few threes. This is the second one, at the buzzer going in.
Big one.
Yeah, it was huge, just to give us some momentum going into the second quarter. But I think we just played hard after that. I think they came out, we obviously made some shots, but I think we just relaxed a little bit after the first quarter. But it's IUP, they're not going to go away. It's going to be a game of runs. You kind of just have to stay focused for the whole entire game.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Obviously, we have been in the gym, and I think that we've been preaching that over the last, a lot more even this second half of the season. A night where we drained some three-point shots.
If we're making 10 three-pointers, we typically are going to win a game because we're not known for that. But like I said, if we're making shots and playing great defense, we're going to be really hard.
Tough to beat.
Yeah. And I think it was great to see, Gigi and Abby making some outside shots. So, you expect DJ to make some, M to make some, Gina to make some. But for those guys, I think especially at the end of last season, IUP didn't even have to play them on the perimeter when we played them in the NCAA tournament. So I think for them to come back and on Senior Day make some outside shots and lead us in scoring was really good for both of them. And it's just, they've been putting in the time, so it was good that it paid off.
Yeah, and it's huge. Obviously, IUP, later in the game, went to a zone, obviously, to force some outside shots. You see that big shot by DJ Hahn. Another one. This one was the one that just fired me up. M. Suckling, senior, coming through with a huge shot towards the tail end of the game when it was really close.
Yeah, and I think if you watch that, you can see our bench go crazy also, which was really nice. I think our bench was awesome. Everybody that went in was so supportive, and they just had a lot of energy. But yeah, it was huge. I mean, for her, M, that was huge. She went in early. Well, she started, hit a three, and then at the end, that one was really big for us. And then she made some free throws too that we needed down the stretch.
Yeah, and putting that game to bed. Do you think it's difficult after a kind of game like that? Obviously, from a coaching perspective, I don't think it is. It's the next game up. Do you think for players it's tough to adjust after a big high and then getting ready to come to play on Wednesday?
I don't know. I can't really tell with this team, what they're focused on. I would assume not so much winning a big game more than the playoffs coming. You know what I mean? I think it might be a combination of both. But I also think we have a leader in Sierra that has been there and done that before. So I think she knows, and I think she's been saying it the last 2 days, this is when we need to focus. Like
every game
it
counts.
Doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter if we won on Saturday. It doesn't matter if we think we're going to make the playoffs. Like, today matters. So I think when you have someone that's been there before and done it and been a part of something like this, it really, really helps you out.
Yeah, and you can hear her even today at practice. You know, obviously early in the morning, we've been going. It's always so much fun to get up at 4:30. But you know, they're focused. 6 a.m. film, focused in practice. Even when someone was slipping, I think Sarah Barrett's right there to say, "Hey, that's not good enough. Like, we have to be better. We have to get ourselves prepared." Do you love having someone to say that so you don't have to?
Yeah, it's awesome because it tends to mean more coming from someone on your team. I mean, she doesn't let one thing slip right now. If you do one thing not good enough, she's going to tell you about it. So, and then for us, it's just we have to jump on her back too. You know, like, it's kind of just a group effort. But she's not the only one either. She's just the one voicing it. I mean, we have some kids going really, really hard right now. It's not like days of rest.
Yeah. And it's the senior leadership that I have
is.
seen too, and just everybody kind of banding together. You know, today, you know, after you played, had a tough practice yesterday, and you know, preparation for Seton Hill today, they were going hard.
And I think you're right. It starts with our seniors,
Ooh.
all 4 of them. You know,
Going at it
They are
today.
really going at it. You know, I haven't seen Abby practice this hard since she's been here. Like, she's going hard. Sierra's going hard. Gigi's a little bit banged up, going hard, and Em always goes hard.
Yeah.
Like, they're really setting the tone for everybody else.
Something feels right now in terms of being locked. When you kind of get a gauge for your team to know that, you know, they're focused, they're into it. How do you get that notion? Just a feel?
Yeah, I think just a feel, but also I think little things you can tell. You know, we're in film at 6 a.m. where a normal college student is sleeping, and we have kids asking questions. You know, they're watching the film. They're not just sitting there going through the motions. So I think just little things, in the same way in practice. You know, it's early. They could just go through the motions if they really didn't care or wanted to, but they care. They're not letting people, you know, take it easy. So they're going really, really hard.
And if you did go through the motions, you'd probably hear about it. It wouldn't be a really fun day for you if you just didn't really care. And I think obviously that's the expectations that you set and the expectations that the team follows in line with. So coming up, like, some really interesting things with the PSAC going on. I mean, there is just a dogfight across the board. If you see, you know, obviously you have the top 1, 2, 3, 5 teams already in, but look at the bottom of that. And then same with the top. There's some important 2 games left.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. You really have I think by this time, a lot of years, you'll see a little number by the top, you know, few, because they know, you know, what seed you're going to be. But it's really still up for grabs. That's why you can't really take any game for granted. Like, we have to show up Wednesday. We have to show up Saturday. You know, IUP at Edinburgh tomorrow is a big game for everything, for the PSAC, for the regional rankings. But I feel like right now we just have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, you can't sleep at all. Obviously, it doesn't matter conference, non-conference, whatever. But at this point in time, every single game matters. And you know, obviously, regional rankings come out tomorrow, and it is really interesting. There's a lot of really great conferences in the Atlantic region. A lot of really good teams. Got to be tough.
Yeah, and the CIAA tournament's happening right now. So by the end of this week, you'll know who wins that tournament, kind of have a better idea of what's going on. But there's big games. You know, I mean, the PSAC tournament, the Mountain East tournament, so it's really up in the air right now. Best
time of year for you?
Yeah, it's the most fun. I mean, it's long. It gets very, very long, but I feel like this is where you get like your second wind, and this is why you do everything leading up to now.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that just myself personally. I feel like when my alarm goes off, yeah, it's early, but you're like, zing, you're up, because you know any day is going to bring something really awesome. You know, whether it's preparation for practice, preparation for a game, knowing that, you know, everything's coming up. It has a different feel to it. We just hope to get that weather kind of squared away.
We always say the NCAA tournament weather. Where is it?
It is freezing. It's cold and it's windy, but I don't think even that would bring, you know, anybody down that plays basketball at this time of year. It's kind of just what we do.
Yeah, it's fun. It's the best time of year.
Something that you're looking forward to?
I guess just looking forward to see how we finish, because I feel like our momentum is taking us in a good direction right now. So I'm just hoping that we can keep that up. Obviously, we're not going to be perfect. We're going to have some, you know, bad spots here and there, but just kind of, I think we have a different focus right now. our effort level is unbelievable right now. The time they're putting in is really, really good. So I just am excited to see, keeping us going forward with our momentum in the right direction.
Wonderful. And folks, thanks so much for joining us for the Jess Strom Show. 2 big games coming up at Seton Hill at 5:30. You can watch online. Just visit our website. Also at Clarion on Saturday, March 2nd at 1 p.m. And then we figure out playoffs. But until then, make sure you check us out, support the Vulcans, and we will see you soon.